Welcome to your faculty experience training. My name is Larissa Morales, and I'm a solutions consultant here at Simple Syllabus. And I am very excited to be here because I worked directly with your UNF implementation team to get your site up and running using this Simple Syllabus tool. So let's go ahead and take a deeper dive to learn what that is all about. On our brief meeting agenda, I'll first give a high-level overview and demonstrate how to access your syllabus directly within Canvas. Now, I know your UNF team has put together some customized documentation. These will be general steps that you can take on accessing your syllabus. Now, I'm going to go ahead and highlight my email and also your internal team's email in the chat. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and your internal team, and I'll be happy to clarify anything for you all. Now, today I'll be working in the Sandbox site. This is specifically for testing and training purposes only, as I'm not a faculty member of a UNF, so I will be using this to demonstrate a sample syllabus. So I'll be reviewing a dashboard overview that you will have access to, and also editing a syllabus in the instructor point of view. I will then show you what the published syllabus will look like and end with how to get assistance. Now, feel free if you have any questions. I promise there'll be plenty of time for Q&A at the end of my presentation, but I do ask if you have any questions during my presentation, feel free to utilize the Zoom chat box feature. I will be monitoring that and address it after I'm done editing the syllabus and then open it up for Q&A. All right, let's go ahead and get started. First is how to access Simple Syllabus in Canvas. So for my demonstration, essentially you will be assigned to your courses based upon your enrollments, and you will click on your course. And we have installed a Simple Syllabus. Our syllabus named tab will be in your navigation. This link is authenticating who you are as the instructor. Now, your students will get the same directions. They'll click on their course and click on their link, but they will see the non-editable published version once your syllabus is submitted and published. You will see the editable version of your very own syllabus template for your courses that we have put together. Now, this is just my general overview of how to access your syllabus. I'll go in and show you exactly what your template looks like. As a faculty member, you have two views or two options to access and edit your syllabi. The easiest, most common option I find is directly within your Canvas course shell by clicking on the navigation link. Additionally, you have what we call your production site that links to Canvas, and you can view and track your documents on a dashboard. You can view this, and the left-hand side, it will say My Syllabi. This will be sent directly or log you in directly to that dashboard overview that I'll show you. Additionally, your team or UNF has its own production site that you can easily log into with single sign-on. So those will be in the resources and documentation after the call. But essentially, when you click on My Syllabi on a published syllabus and or log in directly to the published production site, you will be met with this dashboard. Now, this is based upon your enrollments, so you will only have access to your syllabi that you can edit and submit. However, there is an additional page. Now, just want to preface that since I'm in the testing environment, there is a nice banner at the very top, but this will not be in your production site. Now, first thing I want to show you is an overview that this dashboard over here, there's two views to choose from. This is a column approach. This simply puts your workflow from left to right because you have your to-do list on the left-hand side. And also you have the completed side on the right-hand side. So when it reaches the completed side, that's when your syllabi are viewable, printable, downloadable, and become an official document. You will always know how many tasks you have to complete. At the very top, you see your name and also the number of tasks. Additionally, too, you can expand or minimize the columns to focus on what you would like to see. Now, the second view that you have to have an option of using is on the right-hand side, there is a view filter. I can just select this over here and select list. So this is your preference. This puts the workflow with the to-do list on the top and the completed on the bottom. So it's what you would like to do to organize and track your documents. Of course, you could just do this directly within Canvas and click on a course and edit and submit your syllabi. But some additional features that you have with the dashboard point of view is this term filter. So we have some advanced filters built in the syllabus tool or your dashboard, because this will be handy if you're an instructor that teaches a lot of courses in a variety of areas at UNF. Because this term filter, you can select it and view historic syllabi that you may have published from term to term, current and future if that is available, to pinpoint what you would like to see. Additionally, we have more advanced filters over here. We always have a keyword search box displaying to go ahead and search for your syllabi. And you will need to click on the advanced filters icon. So if I just select this, it will open up me being able to search by subject if you teach in a variety of different subjects, by organization if you teach in a variety of different areas or organizations, and also instructor because you can collaborate with more than one instructor on a syllabus as an editor. Now, before I begin editing, I also want to turn your attention to the left-hand side. We have these two icons. So if you're in the dashboard view, at the very top, you will see a home icon. This icon takes you back to your direct dashboard based upon your enrollments. And also, too, you have now a syllabus library icon. The syllabus library is a central repository where all published syllabi are housed. So as you begin submitting your syllabi for UNF, they can be seen and found in this central repository. Or you can also filter by schools. Your institution customize these nice customizable tiles. If you click into them, they'll filter by department in those syllabi. You also have some clickable navigation links that can take you to your UNF bookstore, for example, course schedule, and academic calendar. You will also see the advanced filters on the left-hand side to search by historic, current, and future, keyword search, subject, course number, organization, and instructor. Now, just want to emphasize this is the central repository where all published syllabi are housed. This is different than your home icon. This is where you will see your not started, in progress, and completed syllabi from your own enrollments. This is the general public. So if you have a document that you are working on and it's not submitted yet and not published, you will not see that appear in the syllabus library until you push submit and publish your syllabus. All right, now before I click edit, I'm going to go in and just hover over these areas at the bottom left-hand corner. This is a syllabus due date, so you know exactly when your syllabus is due for that term to meet the state requirements. Also, too, we have a workflow. So if I click on this, it says 0 out of 1, and it says needs editing by and the instructors and the status to let you know if it is complete or not. You can also see the other editors or other instructors on the bottom right-hand corner, and you will always know what term it's in on the right-hand side. Also, if you filter by term to narrow it down. So I'm going to go in and click edit, but if you're in Canvas, you'll just simply click on that syllabus name tab in your navigation to open up this point of view. So when you click on it, it will open up this point of view. Now, you have the exact same capabilities and functionalities and tools that you have in Canvas, but also your dashboard view. So they are exactly the same. Now, before I begin, I want to highlight that we have a templated approach. This is what Simple Syllabus is all about, because your syllabus is, as you know, a shared document between you and your institution, and we were helping to make sure all your foundational details are already there for you to start customizing your own course content. So this means we have information like auto-populated on the syllabus that we'll see as I edit the syllabus. We have information coming from the template level. That means that you don't have to track down and make sure your institutional policies are up to date every term or semester. That is all managed at a template level and pushed out to all the syllabi, so you can easily spend time and focus on your course or section by section differences for your students. Now we have input, a little nice note over here, a welcome message that's only seen as you internally as you begin editing. So it gives you getting started tips like who to ask for assistance to reach out to, the key features that I'm going to cover. So one of the first key features I want to cover is that you have term-to-term copying. Now, term-to-term copying is great. So that means if I complete spring 2026 syllabus for the very first time, the next term or semester I teach the same course, my manual edits will automatically roll forward from term to term. So this will save me time, but then of course I can scroll down and edit and update things like my office hours and or calendar dates and resubmit that new syllabus for that new term. Additionally, at the very top, you always will know how to always have the option to replace with a different syllabus of your own repository. For example, if I have already submitted a syllabus that is published, it will auto-populate at the very top. This will come in handy if you're a faculty member teaching a lot of sections of the same course. So essentially, that will be redundant information, but you also have some variations between the sections. For example, if I teach another ACT 2021 course and it's already complete, I can go to the very top, select it, and it will import to the syllabus that I have open to save me time. And also, I can just scroll on down and change those section by section differences. Now, on the left-hand side, we have these nifty features. Since we have a templated approach, we have input some areas or a lot of areas for you to import your section by section customization for your students. However, we have enabled a feature to add a component. A component in Simple Syllabus is simply just an additional area or section of your syllabus. For example, if I'm in a lab class and I want to add a lab safety information for my students, I can go in and type the title of the area, click Save, and by default, it goes towards the bottom of my template where I can go in and type in that content. However, if you would like to reorder that and move it to a higher level of your syllabus, since lab safety is very important, you can select Reorder. You can drag and drop, and also you can use the selector tools to top arrow or down arrow to move it up and down the syllabus. Another feature that we have is the reset icon. Remember, we have term-to-term copying turned on, so your content, your manual edits flow forward. However, if you want to reset an area and start from scratch, you can always reset an area for your manual edits to go, to wipe away and start fresh. Or you can simply just scroll down, delete that content, and start over. We just wanted to have that additional feature for you. Moving on down, we have the help icon. You can select this. So this is a direct way to reach support team. Now it will automatically open up this flyout and auto-populate your name that you can edit, your email. You can change the subject line because it will send an email. Now this email is going directly to your internal support. So it's that syllabus@unf.edu. They can also loop us in. And if you prefer to contact, our help desk too, we will loop in your admin team, which also can be found. Let me see over here, click cancel, right here in blue. We love feature requests. If you have any questions or any issues, just let us know. There's a couple background of our support team. We also operate in Florida. So we're on the Eastern Standard Time Zone as well. By default, you will see the support desk. Additionally, there is an optional AI chat. This was generated by our customer support team that sees the frequently asked questions from faculty like yourselves, so it doesn't save any questions that you are asking. It only can feed you like, how do I edit my syllabus, or more details on the accessibility checker that we have built in, just general information, but the default is the support desk. To the very left of your screen, we have our right of your screen is the knowledge base over here. This is an additional resource guide built in for you that you will need to sign up for with a username and password. But I'll touch on this at the very end of my presentation. It is highly recommended. All right, so let's go ahead and begin editing and move through our other features, our highlighted features that I want to show you. So as I scroll down, we can see the header, course information. All of this information is automatically pre-filled for your convenience. So this is managed by your campus systems. And I just want to give you a couple, kind of a technical background. Your campus systems is sending over this information for your course daily. So if you see any information that needs to be updated that is pre-populated, feel free to reach out to your support team and they can easily update and send in the new information for your course information. Especially when it comes from your instructor information that's pre-populated for you to save you time. It flows directly from your campus systems, ensuring the accuracy and saving you time for setup so you can work on and see all your editable areas and additional areas that you want to add for your students. Moving on down, we see our first editable area. This is in addition to the instructor information, your populated content for your convenience. So we have the building, room number, and phone. I just added in some demo content for our demonstration. But you have the option, or is required to have the option over here to add in additional information. On the right-hand side, we see what we call help text. So this is a guidance for what you would like to include in each editable area. So you can add in things like your office hours. If you want to add more instructor, it says more than one instructor for this course, you can please specify. Also, too, you can add in a teaching assistant. I actually want to clarify this important note over here. As you know, you can have more than one instructor for a course. Now, your enrollments will automatically assign you both to the very top over here that's auto-populated. So if there's more than one person or more than one teacher teaching a course, you can just specify any additional details at the very bottom over here and then add in manually your teaching assistants. But the faculty like yourself will automatically be populated on your syllabus based upon your enrollments. So I'm just going to go in to save us time to add some demonstration content over here. If you notice, this highlight goes away and you may have seen this saved feature. So as I start typing, we have an automatic save feature as you go. So it automatically saves your manual edits. This will come in handy if you're in Florida, you might lose Wi-Fi for a bad storm, or you simply just want to start a different task. You can close it out, and I like to think of it as saving as draft. So you can go back to your Canvas or go back to your dashboard to begin editing your syllabus with your manual edits already there. Now, to submit your syllabus, I want to emphasize it is a manual submission. So we don't automatically submit, we automatically save. And there is a floating submit bar. So you don't have to scroll to the very bottom once all the areas are completed. But you might notice there is an exclamation point. This will let you know that there's areas over here that need to be completed, and it will pinpoint and take you there while you're editing your syllabus before you can push submit. There's also a preview icon. So if you wanted to see what it looks before you submit for your students, over here, it'll give you a preview of what it will look like. However, to make it an official document in Simple Syllabus, it will need to be submitted to be viewable, printable, downloadable, and seen in that syllabus library and also directly within Canvas. I also want to note too, we have a lot of open formatting features that are available. We support unordered list, ordered list. You can add links over here. If you want to add link, I always find it easier just to highlight over the text, select the link icon. You can type in the URL, and always recommend, I like to do it, is to open in a new tab. So this means if your students click on the link, it won't steer them away from the syllabus that they're viewing. It will simply open in a new tab. If you want to update this in the future, there's a lot of flexibility. You can edit the link, unlink it, add a style, or just open the link to make sure it works. Additionally, too, we support over here images. There's a drop image, also by URL. We support videos. There's a couple of ways to embed or upload a video. We also have a nice ADA-friendly table builder tool built in. Now, when working with tables, it is recommended to build them manually using this table builder tool coming from an accessibility standpoint, because it does have content, this type of component. This has a rich text editor. So you can always copy and paste in plain text. However, if you copy and paste in your large tables with coloring, we found that it would lead to accessibility issues. It might be stripped off the pages, or it might be falling off the PDF versions of the printed syllabus. So we always would recommend using the ADA table friendly tool. Now, I understand the heaviest lift might be just building out the tool or the syllabus table for the first time, but our customer support team and we want to be there for you. Feel free to reach out to me. But remember, you have term-to-term copying on, so that you just build out the tool once, and then you can automatically flow forward, where you then can customize it and import it between different syllabi of your own, like we saw at the very top with the import feature. So I'm going to go in and just build out a table. And if I click in it, you can see the table builder styles over here. So you're not locked into making sure this is perfect for the first time. You have the ability and autonomy to add rows, add columns after the fact, make a cell background, design it, make it your own. Also, if you turn your attention to the bottom right-hand corner, we have an accessibility checker. This will indicate if you have any issues. So for example, I had to add in a table header. Over here, you would select next. And then it says I have to add in a caption. I'm going to put my example in, select next, and it'll let you know if any of the issues have been, or all the issues have been resolved, how to resolve them, and it gives you a nice confetti animation when everything looks good to go. Now, if you want to find out more information on our accessibility checker, I highly recommend signing up for that resource guide. You have articles specifically talking about accessibility, what that checks for, what it looks out for, also table building tools and tips whenever you build your syllabi. So I highly recommend that resource guide directly built in for you. All right, I also, before I move down, there is an undo button. So if you want to undo or redo any information added in, it's located right at the very top. Moving on down, there is an area for additional instructional staff over here. Now, I want to point out this, if it's left blank, it will not appear on your syllabus because this is an optional area, and this is indicated on the right-hand side. So if it's optional, you have the option to include area information in. This will come in handy from a faculty standpoint if you want to add in additional information. But let's say you don't want your students to see it just yet. You want to keep working on it, but you want to be able to submit your syllabus. If you add in content here, for example, and you want to save this specific area, if you make it invisible and push submit when all the other areas are completed, it will not appear on the published syllabus. However, you will need to remember to push visible again to bring it back and resubmit, and that area that you added in for that new term or semester will appear for your students. And there is a lot of nifty help text or helpful help text on the right-hand side for each area. Moving on down, we have the catalog course description that's built in for your convenience from your campus systems. So it's optional to add an additional course description for your course, or if you leave it blank, it won't appear, but it would look like it's in one area if you add any additional information here. Moving on down, same with the learning outcomes, and add any additional learning outcomes or anything you would like to say to this editable area. So UNF made a lot of your template editable to add your course and section by section content while giving you the ability to add your additional information that may not be included on the main template. I also want to highlight this Canvas assignment schedule sync. This is an option to you sync over, so it will automatically populate on your syllabus, and it's pulling from like your discussions, your quizzes, your test. If you're utilizing that directly within Canvas, it will automatically populate based upon the due date. It will put it in order. If there's no due date, it will appear at the very top. You always have the option to add the due date in Canvas to make it in order, or you can reorder using this tool. I do want to emphasize a couple of key points here that since I like to think of this area as Canvas being the driver for just this specific area. So it syncs over. If you want to modify, you're more than welcome. It's your syllabus. However, if you modify something on the sync, it will prompt you saying, are you sure you want to modify this? It will break the connection, not with the whole syllabus, not with Canvas, but just the area that you modified because you're saying, please prioritize my manual edits now on the syllabus instead of the Canvas sync. However, if you want to restore that and get that information back, you can always reset this area and it will be the most up-to-date version of Canvas. Or if you do not want to utilize it at all, and right below we have an open formatted course schedule to add your content in, you can easily just mark it invisible and move on down and not utilize this Canvas schedule sync. There is detailed directions at the right-hand side over here with helpful tips on the right-hand side listed and links that they've added in. Moving on down, we have that course schedule. So I'm just going to add in some content over here. We also support emotion. Then as I move on down, we have course policies. Oh, before I move on down, I also want to mention you do have the option to utilize both. So if you want your assignment schedule list auto-populating and just put more details at the very bottom, you're more than welcome to use both areas for your syllabus. Next, we have some course policies over here. I'm going to put some example in. Assessment and grading procedures with some instructions. I also want to mention that items that can be populated onto the syllabus can also come from different areas of your institution. For example, if counting has its own policy and it's, you have to add that to every syllabus, it can be added to the accounting template if that's, built out your own department, your own group, so it can save you time. So feel free to reach out to your internal team, also support, we can loop in your internal team to talk about adding that variations to the additional templates. Also, we have course materials. To edit this area, you have the pencil icon. I love our Google API book search feature. It's at the very top. Easy if you know the ISBN number because it links to Google and Google Scholar. So if you know the ISBN, you can type that in, or for the book title. So over here, I can just search accounting, and whenever you find your book, you can just select it and it will auto-populate onto these fields over here that you can add additional information. Also, they have an optional additional information. This is rich text friendly. So you can add in links by, let me just see over here, add any other notes that you want your students to know per material. So if I highlight over it, it will open up bolding. You can highlight the background, the link over here. There's a lot of flexibility even when adding into the different areas of your syllabus. I'm going to click Save because you need to add it per material. To add additional one in, you just select Add New Material. And this can be utilized with more than just textbooks. So on the right-hand side, we see a calculator. There's some helpful tips. So if you have a calculator on file or just have an image from Google from the exact model, you can just go in and open it up, save it, put the title or model and additional information over here and select Save. and it will be easily added to your course materials area. Right below over here, we have the acceptable AI use in the course. Now, this is optional. There is descriptions and information with the links that is clickable. So I'm just going to put some demonstration. Now we have the COI statement, more information, but this area is editable. So if it doesn't apply, you can always over here, or if you want to modify it, you can always just go type right into this content. It will just pre-filled for you to save you time. You can customize it. I do want to show you another trick too. So if you are, let's say, this academic integrity statement, it's pre-filled for your convenience, so you can easily click in and modify it. Let's say you go in and you add a sentence in over here, and then you just push return or add a space in, and you keep scrolling on down, and then when you're previewing it, and let's go over here. You might see some extra white space. This is because the cursor is below, and so there is extra space added in. So I do always want to just point that out, because over here, just make sure you know where your cursor is. So if you see extra white space, it could be, it just depends where you put a cursor or accidentally added a space in when you're adding additional content. Moving on down, we have the accessibility statement. So it is pre-filled for your convenience. So if you prefer not to display it, you can easily use this toggle or slider to toggle it off to make it invisible. Academic resources, pre-populated areas. Again, this is built in to save you time. And if you see anything that needs to be updated, feel free to reach out to us and the support team. We will easily update and loop in your internal team to update that template for you. Textbook transparency, and also the additional information that I added in at the beginning. I also want to point out, if you add an area to your syllabus, it's required to have a name field, but it's not required to display. For example, if you want to add in multiple areas, you can always easily select or deselect that the name is hidden. So you can hide that over here to make them look blendable and reorder. We can reorder from there, but the default, it's going to display for the title that you add in. And if you add in the title, it will also appear, like I showed in that preview, as a clickable navigation link on the left-hand side for your students. Since this is optional for you to add in, you see that invisible versus visible slider. Also on the right-hand side, we see delete component. Now, I want to emphasize this is a hard delete, and it even gives you a prompt saying this action cannot be reversed. So you want to confirm that you want to delete this area because we can't bring it back. But of course, if you want to delete it, just go ahead, or you can just make it invisible and hide it if you want to work on it and then resubmit your syllabus. Right below, we have the add new component. This is the same feature that we saw at the very top left-hand side. Now, before I submit, I have to attest, select that box over there, and then push submit. In Canvas, you'll also see confetti animation, same with your dashboard, and these two links that are available, the URL, PDF URL, whenever the syllabus is published. So it's viewable, printable, downloadable, and we can see this over here. It's moved to the right-hand side. Now, you know it's published. There is a green check mark area on this right-hand side over here. And you notice this one, it might take just 30 seconds or to refresh my screen to render for it to be published. Yep, there it is. And it's also seen in Canvas and the syllabus library. Now, from here on the completed side, during the term, you have the option to edit. So if I need to re-edit during this term, I can just select edit. You can view it. And from the view point of view, there's on the top right-hand corner, I apologize for my banner over here. It's only in Sandbox, not in your production. You know that the last date it was updated. So if you resubmit the syllabus, it will update. Also, you have the print and share. So the print, you can just easily download it as a PDF and print it from there. The share, you'll see those same two links that it will copy. Since it is a digital syllabus, it will copy the digital URL. I also want to point out the print icons over here. The share is also here as well. And we have the student engagement. And over here is an optional report that you can use. The student engagement will appear when the syllabus is published. So if you're in Canvas, it will be at the very top. It says student engagement. It says 0 students viewed it because I just submitted it over here. So it will fill up or complete once it is more engagement and the students are visiting the tool. Now, over here, I have put together a test student, and I just want to show you what the general report will look like. So it's the same report if you're in Canvas on top of the published syllabus or in your dashboard, but we'll have the list of students. It will show you how many times they viewed the syllabus. It even shows you the percentage of the syllabus that they read, and also it will show you the last viewed. There is an export button if you do want to utilize this and export to a report. It's at the very top in blue over here. But additionally, I will show you real fast what the student point of view will look like and show you that report in action before I head over to Q&A and resources. So I'll show you from their point of view how to create a test students. Most likely, your students will be logging in directly within your Canvas course shell, but also they have the option to have their own My Courses page. They won't have any editable syllabi, but they'll see based upon their enrollments, where they can see a mini course description, the materials that you added in over here, and they can choose to follow it so they can receive email updates every time it is resubmitted. So I'm going to go in and click on a syllabus. So if I was in Canvas or my dashboard, it will prompt them to acknowledge, so please read to its entirety and select the acknowledgement button. Now on the back end, we had a marker, and I believe it's at 100%. So as they're moving down and scrolling down, hopefully not really fast, it will track on the bottom left-hand side how much they have viewed the syllabus or read the syllabus, and it will prompt them whenever they reach that marker to acknowledge. And that's where you'll see it as a report to acknowledge it. Now, I also wanted to pull up a demonstration of a test demonstration of some more engagement of what the report will look like when there's a lot of engagement in here. So you can see the name, the numbers, percentage, and if they acknowledged it, they will have a green icon that they have submitted that acknowledgement icon at the very end. And the last date and time, then you can see who has not viewed it for them. All right, now real fast, I went ahead to that resource article pages that you can sign up for. And over here, all you have to do is go into the keyword search. You can look up articles over here. I recommend it because there's many watch videos, but I know your UNF team has done a good job of having internal documentation, but these are just general simple syllabus watch, like the tool itself, that are 5 minutes or less, but there's also instructor experience, our frequently asked questions. Now we do host webinars, but we will let your team know or UNF know when they are faculty focused, maybe new features that are coming out. So just let us know if you have any questions. We're right there for you. I put my email in the chat. But that's all I have with my presentation. At this time, I know we have plenty of time left, like 18 minutes left. I'll stay on the call, but if I just want to open it up if you guys have any questions. And I also appreciate your time today of joining me on this faculty training high-level overview.